Welcome to SQL Server. This is course introduction. My name is Steve Hamilton. SQL Server is a registered trademark of Microsoft Corporation. In this course, we will learn how to install and configure SQL Server 2008 database. We will also learn how to backup and recover the SQL Server 2008 database, as well as how to configure security policies and high availability for SQL Server 2008. We will learn how to monitor performance for the instance as well as the operating system. We will define our SQL Server recovery methods. We will look at bulk logging, simple logging, as well as full logging. We will learn how to manage schemas, as well as how to create and manage database snapshots. Database snapshots will be good for reporting capabilities within the SQL Server 2008 database, the ability to offload our reporting capabilities to a completely different database so that way we can reduce the load from our production systems. And also we will learn how to back up and recover the database. Backing up and recovering the database is an integral part of any SQL Server database. The course prerequisites would be to have a basic IT background. We would also like you to have a minimum of 6 months of practical DBA on-hands experience. We will look at maintaining our SQL Server instances, as well as configuring specific components of the SQL Server 2008 database. We will define our recovery methods, manage our SQL Server security. How are you going to log on to the SQL Server database, whether it's going to be a mixed authentication method or a host authentication method. We will also discuss how to create SQL Server login accounts. So these will be the accounts that are specifically logging into your SQL Server database. We basically will have two methods. One is logging into the instance, and two would be actually logging into the SQL Server database itself. We will look at overall instance permissions, such as grant, revoke, and deny. Which specific users have access to which specific targets. For example, a target or a principal could be a table, a view, or a package or procedure. We'll look at managing schemas. Schemas effectively are owners of specific objects within the database. For example, a schema might be GL, it could be AP. We will learn how to grant privileges to these schemas as well as revoking privileges to these schemas. And overall, maintain the SQL Server database. When we talk about maintaining the SQL Server database, we're looking at overall permissions, performance, as well as throughput. We'll look at all the tools that SQL Server 2008 provides, some of the old tools, as well as some of the new features within SQL Server 2008. We'll take a close look at database snapshots, how to create database snapshots, as well as their overall utilization. We'll look at data management tasks. For example, export, import, log shipping, and replication. We'll discuss maintaining indexes. We'll learn about regular indexes, clustered indexes, non-clustered indexes, as well as what is referred to as a covering index. We'll learn how to monitor and troubleshoot the SQL Server database. We will look at DMVs, dynamic management views. We'll look at additional tools that SQL Server provides us to monitor the database as well as optimizing SQL Server performance, such as the Performance Analyzer. This would be a utility that will allow us to take a query, perform analysis on it, and then determine do we need to create indexes or maybe we need to rewrite the SQL query to get better performance. We will also use a new tool called Performance Studio. Performance Studio gives us the capability of retrieving a query, analyzing that query, dissecting the query to determine specifically what the query is doing, how we can better improve that query to get better performance for our overall end users. We'll take a detailed look at log shipping as well as database mirroring. We'll look at high availability options and which is the best method for high availability options, whether it's going to be log shipping or whether it's going to be database mirroring. as well as replications. There are two or three different methods within the SQL Server database as far as how to implement high availability. Of these three options, your organization will have to choose which option is best for you. Any one of these methods are perfectly fine and will implement replication to make sure your database is available for high availability, but it's your own organizational needs which is going to be best for you. We'll also take a look at the service broker feature within the SQL Server database. It enables you to create jobs, run the jobs, and then be notified when the job successfully completes. We'll take a look at the features within the service broker queues. So effectively, when we have service broker call a process, how is that process going to be queued up and then sent out to the respective end users? We'll look at sending and receiving messages. We'll look at database mail as far as how DBAs can be notified when a specific alert occurs within the database so they can take proactive action to fix your SQL Server database as needed. We'll also provide lab exercises that can be downloaded from this link. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to use the question and comment box below.